starts whenever I was really young. My mother died whenever I was 4 years old of cancer. She passed away of leukemia. And during that time, it was a lot of struggles. Financially, my dad had a hard time taking care of, two sons at the time. That was me and my little brother, Ryan. A lot of the time, we stayed with our grandparents, and eventually our grandparents took primary guardianship over us. And while my dad, got his life, put back together, a lot of my journey was revolved around kind of pain and just a lot of suffering. I've had a lot of family history with cancer, and a lot of people that are very close to me that have passed. Whenever I was younger, not long after my mom had passed, I got introduced to baseball. It was kind of the one thing that was easiest for me to go let out a lot of my anger and frustrations, but it was also the easiest way for me to make friends. During that time, I met a couple of my friends, Austin and Jake. And Austin's parents were very faith-based. And so during the summers, we would go off to a church camp. And I distinctly remember the first time that I went to a church camp, I thought a lot of it was just, hey, we're going to go there, we're going to hang out, we're going to have fun with a bunch of new people and hang out. And then something happened at the very end where we went through basically a prayer tunnel, and we had all of these adults praying over us, and we're probably, 8 to 10 years old at this time. And I distinctly remember all of these people praying for me and just kind of feeling this energy over me. And I remember after this whole journey that I was in the back of a pew with 4 of my friends at that time, and we were all just kind of bawling our eyes out. And that was the first time that I can say that I truly felt Christ in my life. And then it kind of just disappeared for a long time. And I ended up getting drafted in 2016 by the Minnesota Twins. And my roommate at the time, his name is Alex Kirilloff, and he is a very faith-based person as well. I remember asking him a lot of questions because at that point, I truly didn't understand who Christ was. And as time kind of went on, I started to realize a little bit more of what it was about. Our host mom at the time, Miss Mary, she invited us to go to church on Sundays. And so our whole household, who I would say 3 out of the 5 people were believers at that point, I got invited to church and I would go with them. And then I started to kind of really open up in my faith a little bit more. It slowly kept growing. And time was just kind of really ticking by slowly with it. I would go to church, I would feel really good about myself, but my actions outside of that were not reflecting everything that I was feeling. As time kind of went on, I never really acted upon it. I never really went out and tried to be better and learn the Bible, learn the gospel, and learn to change my life and change myself from the inside out versus the outside in. During COVID, something crazy happened where I hadn't pitched for 2 years. I had had Tommy John surgery in 2019. I didn't pitch in 2019 or 2020. One day in December of 2020, I got a phone call from the Baltimore Orioles saying that they had picked me up in the major league portion of the Rule 5 draft. And I can honestly say that that's really where my journey really began. Because I got introduced to some people that really changed my life. And one of them now is one of my best friends, John Means. And he asked me all the time as a rookie to come to chapel, come to chapel, come to chapel. And then didn't start going to chapel on a regular basis until halfway through my first year in the big leagues. And during that time, I didn't think anything of it. I was just enjoying the big league lifestyle, as they always say. What really changed for me was one of my other close friends now, Austin Hayes. Him and his wife introduced me to a girl named Melissa, who is now my wife and probably my biggest influence in my faith journey. And the reason being is because during that time, she was newly saved and she was on fire for the Lord. And during 2021, we really got to know each other more and more. And I moved to Jacksonville to pursue this relationship. And her parents took me in and they showed me what it was like to be loved in a faith-based family. We started going to church, and it just so happens that our church now has got a priest named Joby Martin who is on fire for the Lord, and He's really making waves across the United States and across the world. And, I'm proud to say that that is where our church is. Along with my wife and just her family really pushing me to be a faith-based man and really holding me accountable in that, I started to learn more and more about the word and the gospel and really seeing what it's like to act and grow from the inside out as a man of faith. During my first year, I met Mickey Weston for the first time as a chaplain while we were visiting Chicago. We got to know each other more at PAO, and he came to spring training every year in Sarasota as our chaplain for the spring training. And it was about this time last year that I asked Mickey to start discipling me and really take my next step in my faith journey, because I realized that I can't do it alone. I've had a really, up and down journey with this, and sometimes the best way to do it is to have others surround yourself with great community. I think that that's the biggest thing for me as I continue to go on is I really love Christ, and I really love the community that he brings and surrounds me with and surrounds others with. It's not always linear. You go through a lot of ups and downs, and I remember Jason Adam for the San Diego Padres, his wife and him came up to me and my now wife, and they said, both of you are saved, and the devil will come after you. He will pose a lot of challenges and put you guys in positions that you do not want to be in. He will fill you with temptation, and he will fill you with hardship. But your love for the Lord is greater, and you will always prevail as long as you have him in your heart. And I'll never forget that, because it's true. It's always been an up and down battle, but the thing that has always remained constant for me in our household, now that we also have a daughter, and the one thing that I will always teach her is that the love for the Lord will never disappear. You will always have it, no matter how far away you are or feel like you will always have the Lord with you. And I always like to use him as the shepherd and the sheep that wandered off. I have been that sheep so many times, and he's always come and found me. He's left the many to come get the one and bring it back. And so I think that as time continues on, I'm going to continue to probably have some ups and downs with it, but my love for the Lord will never disappear.